So eventually everything comes to a head, Commissioner Gordon gets kidnapped, and it's really time to take out the army of the undead. So here's the plan. Batman is going to lure the undead to Wayne Manor and blow it up, and then go after Drac and the Commissioner. Batman heads into the sewers once again and attacks some vampires, and reprises one of his more famous lines of, "Boo," which causes the vampires to chase him to Wayne Manor. Unfortunately, part of the plan called for the vampire resistance to sacrifice themselves by holding the vampires in Wayne Manor until the explosives actually go off. After that, Batman climbs into the Bat Coffin, and Wayne Manor is destroyed. In order to fight Drac, Batman had to continue mutating into a real Batman. Now instead of
Batman to all points. I could use some air support, since I can't fly at all. Now would be good.
He can. And after stopping by Spawn's place to pick up a new cape, he heads out in search of Drac. Eventually he finds him and fights him for a moment and rescues Commissioner Gordon. And it's a very good thing that Gordon couldn't see the look on Batman's face, otherwise he would be saying, "Thank God you're here." And now, we see the climactic final battle between Batman and Dracula. Words, I think, do not do it justice. With Drac dead, Batman does a curtsy and then dies. The ending is somewhat ruined by this horribly stereotypical "no" that totally ruins the impact that Batman's death should have. Really, I think Alfred would say something more along the lines of "good work, sir," or something like that, not a "no," because really that does not do Batman's death any justice at all. But of course, he is not dead, just undead. Apparently, he is now a full vampire, and apparently he watched a lot of vampire schlock movies as a kid because he is doing the little hand claw and is being very melodramatic by saying, "I am dead, Alfred." What he says afterward is pretty good, but the statement just sounds really stupid. Maybe he's joking. I don't know. And of course, the last pose is just terrible. It looks like he is going, "Ah, I'm a vampire!" Seriously, they could have come up with a more dignified pose than that. And with that somewhat ignominious end, the awesomeness of Batman vs. Dracula, Red Rain, comes to a complete and proper close. Batman Dracula Red Rain would prove to be rather successful and actually spawned 2 sequels. So now that you know the story, let's delve into it a little deeper. The art style is actually pretty good. It fits in with the overall gothic aesthetic without being completely incomprehensible. When someone throws a punch, you can actually see who they are hitting. Everything in the comic is completely recognizable. Unlike a few other comics, I'm looking at you, Batman Houdini, just what the hell is going on here? Still, just about every frame with Batman looks supremely stupid. All of the poses are unnecessary, and he always is grimacing like he has gastrointestinal distress. And he's too bloody pointy. Forget emo Batman, this is Pointy Man. Really, how does he walk around inside of confined spaces with those 20-inch bat ears? Like I said earlier, there are times when he looks like Spawn with that bloody cape. But his look aside, Batman's overall character is completely in keeping with what you would expect from Batman. When you read the comic, you can almost hear Kevin Conroy's voice. And really, this could have been a great Batman the Animated Series episode. That, of course, was not to be. Mostly. You see, there was a direct-to-DVD film called The Batman vs. Dracula. The only problem was it was set in the bad Batman animated series called The Batman. The film is absolutely terrible. The voice acting is non-existent, and the music is just like a repetition of 3 different notes. And of course we have to have some heavy-handed environmentalist propaganda. Just listen to this.
Industries feels an obligation to remain committed to socially responsible programs. A prime example would be our work in the field of alternative energy sources.
Amazing.
Well, we like to think we're just doing our part.
Remember 90s Batman and early 2000s where shows were actually well made and they didn't try to force feed you political garbage? That aside, even the fights are not all that good, and that's mainly due to the animation style. Nothing looks right. Batman just looks wimpy, and Bruce Wayne looks like he's missing half his face. For a show titled Batman vs. Dracula, it's pretty disappointing. I heartily recommend Batman vs. Dracula Red Rain. And that's mainly because it's a very easy comic to get into. You don't need to have read DC Comics number 559 to get who the characters are and what they're doing. The only thing you need to know is who Batman and Dracula are. That's it. And that's fairly easy to do. So this is General Watts wishing you good Star Wars Death Troopers. Good Star Wars Cross Current. Or whatever makes you happy. Glad that's over. Now I know I'm going to get like 50 emails saying, oh, you don't get horror, and also 2001's great. Ugh, damn fanboys. What the hell are you supposed to be? Some sort of Bollywood Freddy Krueger? Oh, you must have heard me talk bad about horror movie characters, didn't you? But I didn't mention you! Indian horror is probably good too? So what are you doing here anyway? Do you want to try to kill me or something? You do you? Well, if you'll allow me one iteration. Henshin! Alright. Who's next?